today. I am a role model, says Angel Reese. I take that seriously, says Angel Reese. Okay, girl, you're my angel. Okay, fine. Angel Reese is the example we want to set for the people that we are being role models to. Is the example that we want to set. If we don't get our way, we throw a temper tantrum. If we don't get our way, we throw a hissy fit.
Angel Reese is one of the most gifted players to touch a basketball in a generation, a force of nature with the talent to become an all-time great, but for most people, her name brings up something else entirely. She's a walking headline, a lightning rod for debate who seems to draw more attention for her antics off the ball than her dominance on it. She's a champion, a brand, and a phenomenon, but she's also become the face of a new kind of sports celebrity where controversy is currency. While she has the skill to redefine the sport, a darker question is beginning to form. Is Angel Reese a basketball revolutionary, or is she just a reality TV star who happens to play in the WNBA?
It is over. That is the last you will see Angel Reese in a Chicago Sky uniform with the antics and the stuff she pulled to end this season. She straight up quit on this team the last 3 games of the season, refused to play. She disrespected her teammates. Her teammates went back and fired back, letting it be known, hold on, shorty, we're not going for that. Now the Angel Reese stands invaded the Chicago game, screaming out, fire Jeff P, who is the GM.
It all exploded into the mainstream during the 2023 NCAA Championship. LSU had won, a crowning achievement for any athlete, but the moment that went viral wasn't the final buzzer or the trophy presentation. It was Angel Reese, standing over Caitlin Clark, tauntingly waving her hand in front of her own face. The infamous "you can't see me" gesture, a move borrowed from wrestler John Cena, ignited a firestorm that split the sports world in two. To her fans, it was the ultimate show of unapologetic confidence from a player who had just backed it up on the biggest stage. To her critics, it was a classless, unsportsmanlike act that overshadowed a historic victory, and it was the moment she was permanently branded a villain in the eyes of millions.
To the game, all excited. Oh, I'm gonna watch my favorite player, Angel Reese, only to find out, oh, she's busy sticking it to the man, the Chicago Sky organization. Hey, why isn't Angel Reese playing, Mom, Dad? Well, she threw her teammates under the bus. The organization reprimanded her accordingly, and now she just quit on the team. Oh. Is this somebody I should be looking up to? No. Let's get out of here, son.
Just a few months later, the narrative took a bizarre and mysterious turn when Angel Reese suddenly vanished from the LSU team. For weeks, she was nowhere to be seen, with her legendary coach Kim Mulkey offering only cryptic, tight-lipped responses that did nothing but fuel wild speculation. Rumors swirled across the internet like wildfire. Was it academic probation keeping her off the court? Had there been a nasty fight with a teammate? Was she a locker room cancer that had to be removed for the team's health? The complete silence from the program was deafening, and it painted a disturbing picture of a star player whose behind-the-scenes behavior was becoming a serious, unmanageable problem.
Fire Jeff. That is Jeff Pagliosa, the GM of the Chicago Sky. Damn. I can spot a nickel in the 3rd row, section C3. Angel Reese, you ain't selling no tickets. You ain't selling no tickets. I can spot a nickel right there. Right there. Listen, the Angel Reese fans letting it be known, they want this GM fired, y'all. Not ideal. I pour my heart and soul into this job. I lose sleep over losing. If anyone is going to take the bullets, I'd rather be me over our head coach or our players. Jeff P out there on his own, man.
This wasn't the first sign of friction. Throughout her time at LSU, there were subtle but clear signs of a power struggle between Reese and her equally fiery coach, Kim Mulkey. On several occasions, cameras caught heated exchanges on the sideline, with Mulkey appearing to lecture a visibly frustrated Reese. Mulkey, a coach known for her old-school, no-nonsense approach, often made public comments about locker room issues and the need for players to handle their business with maturity. These statements, though never naming Reese directly, were widely interpreted as being aimed at her star player. player. It created a tense dynamic where two massive personalities seemed to be clashing over who truly ran the team.
Hey Angel, are you frustrated with the organization or frustrated in general?
I don't think I'm frustrated. I probably am frustrated myself right now. I think the language is taken out of context, and I really didn't intentionally mean to put down my teammates because they've been through this with me throughout the whole year. They've busted their ass just how I busted my ass. They showed up for me through thick and thin and in the locker room when nobody could see anything. So I would apologize to my teammates, which I already had.
But what are they getting instead? A lesson in if it gets too tough, just leave.
While the drama mounted, her brand was exploding into a full-blown empire. The Bayou Barbie persona was born, complete with massive NIL deals for brands like Reebok, Sports Illustrated, and Mercedes-Benz. Magazine covers and an appearance at the prestigious Met Gala followed. On one hand, you had the ferocious rebounder known for her grit and tenacity. On the other, you had a high-fashion icon building a multi-million-dollar business. This created a new dilemma for fans and critics alike. Was her focus shifting? As the brand grew bigger and the headlines got louder, people began to wonder if Angel Reese was more interested in being famous than being the best basketball player in the world.
Angel Reese, she's shutting herself down for the rest of the season.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what? She's not gonna be missed.
No, that's ridiculous, man.
Here we go. Alabama versus Wisconsin. Alabama's ranked number 19 right now. I would take.
She poured gasoline on this fire with her mastery of social media, turning her timeline into a battlefield. Reese quickly became known for her clapbacks, directly engaging with critics, reporters, and anyone who questioned her. Instead of ignoring the noise like most athletes are coached to do, she dove headfirst into the fray, firing off posts that were equal parts defiant and dismissive. This strategy further blurred the line between athlete and influencer. It kept her relevant and trending 24/7, but it also cemented her image as someone who was perpetually embroiled in drama, seemingly more concerned with winning online arguments than basketball games.
She has her little back warmer brace thing around her warm-up gear. She didn't even have her hair tied up, and she didn't play in the first half. And then after the first half, we get this announcement. So you guys, this is actually in the middle of the game. She has never entered the game yet. We get this announcement. It says, after serving a suspension during the first half of tonight's game versus the Las Vegas Aces, Angel Reese has been ruled out for the second half due to a back injury for the team. I'm laughing because it's just all so common.
Her entry into the WNBA was less of a debut and more of a detonation. The rivalry with Caitlin Clark followed her to the pros, and it reached a boiling point when her Chicago Sky teammate Chennedy Carter delivered a cheap shot hip check to Clark, away from the ball. The foul itself was bad enough, a blatant and unnecessary act of aggression. But what the camera caught next defined the entire saga. It was Angel Reese, jumping off the bench, clapping and cheering enthusiastically for the foul. For millions watching, this was the smoking gun. It was no longer just a rivalry. It looked like a coordinated, mean-spirited campaign led by Reese to physically intimidate her opponent.
Tyler Marsh credit. That was some good bullshit. This dude is a master polisher. Tyler Marsh went above and beyond. He didn't just use the regular polish. This dude grabbed the chrome polish and put a double coat on this turd. For the most part, I noticed that Tyler Marsh was talking about Angel Reese on the court. He was talking about her preparation. He was talking about her work ethic. He was talking about her commitment to pretend basketball, her competitive.
That moment wasn't an isolated incident. A few weeks later, Reese was involved in another highly controversial play, this time delivering a flagrant foul to the Connecticut Sun's Alyssa Thomas, hitting her in the head on a drive to the basket, while she later claimed it was just a basketball play. The optics were terrible. It fed into a growing narrative that Reese was a dirty player, someone who relied on overly aggressive tactics. A pattern was emerging. One incident could be dismissed as passion, but multiple incidents began to look like a deliberate strategy of physical intimidation, further solidifying her reputation as the league's new enforcer.
Looks like everything has come to a head, and when one of the biggest sports media entities in the country, The Athletic, which is now owned by the New York Times, comes out and makes this statement, well, maybe this is exactly what we all thought. Angel Reese may have thrown her teammates under the bus, ran the bus over them, and then proceeded to just quit and protest on the team.
Instead of backing down from the intense and relentless backlash, Angel Reese doubled down. She came out in press conferences claiming the world was watching for the wrong reasons and that she was happy to take the bad guy role if it meant growing the game. She insisted she was just being her authentic self and refused to apologize for her passion, framing the criticism as a product of people not liking strong, confident women. This was a calculated move to control the narrative. By embracing the villain label, she was attempting to turn the hate into fuel, positioning herself as a rebel fighting against a world that didn't want to see her succeed.
Tyler Marsh has the toughest job because he's got to deal with the constant drama of Angel Reese and Angel Reese. Well, Casey, what do you mean? There's only one Angel Reese. There are two. There is Angel Reese Jr., the pretend basketball player, and there is Angel Reese Sr., better known as Mama Reese, the professional clapping back at the hater.
But that wasn't the whole story. As the criticism piled on, a powerful and important counter-argument emerged. Supporters claimed that Reese was being held to a vicious double standard rooted in both race and gender. They argued that when male athletes like Draymond Green or Patrick Beverley trash talk and play aggressively, they're called enforcers and competitors. But when Angel Reese, a confident black woman, does the same, she's immediately labeled a thug in a bad sport. The debate raged across sports media. Was she a genuine villain, or was she a victim of a biased system that unfairly polices the behavior of black women more harshly than anyone else?
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury.
While the world was busy debating her character, a bigger question lingered. What was happening inside her own locker room? A player who constantly generates this much individual controversy can become a massive distraction for a team trying to win. Are her Chicago Sky teammates fully on board with her villain persona, seeing it as a source of strength, or are they secretly exhausted by the constant media circus and the need to answer questions about her latest drama? True championships are built on team chemistry and trust, and it's fair to wonder if Reese's intense focus on her personal brand is creating fractures that the public simply can't see.
Angel Reese, this is enough. She said, I can't wait for this season to end. Hawaii calling my name. I need a little break from America for real. Girl, do you know that Hawaii is in America? You must be the dumbest thing to ever walk this earth. You talking about you make $1,400 in 7 days, while we make it in a week. Same thing. I'm starting to think you're dumb, Angel Reese, or you're clip farming. You're trying to be like Flight, but you're not.
Ironically, while critics attack her character, the WNBA is reaping the benefits. The Reese effect is undeniable. Games featuring Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are seeing record-breaking viewership numbers in sold-out arenas. The drama, whether you love it or hate it, sells tickets and drives engagement. This creates a strange paradox, where the very behavior that earns her criticism is also making the league more money and bringing more eyes to the sport than ever before. Is it possible that bad press is actually good business for women's basketball? And if so, what incentive does anyone have to change? Of course, you can't argue with the stats. Angel Reese is a walking double-double, a rebounding machine who has already proven she can dominate at the professional level. The numbers on the page scream superstar. But in sports, numbers are only half the story. The greatest players elevate their entire team, not just their own stat line. The constant drama, the media scrutiny, and the villain narrative all create a cloud of chaos that follows her everywhere she goes. The question remains, is her individual talent great enough to overcome the distractions she actively creates for her team? This brings us back to the kids who are watching her every move. Role models in sports teach more than just how to play the game. They teach resilience, teamwork, and sportsmanship. What lesson is Angel Reese teaching the next generation? Is it a powerful message about being unapologetically yourself? Or is it a more cynical lesson that being the main character, even a villainous one, is more important than being a good teammate? Kids are seeing quitting mid-game or cheering for cheap shots get rewarded with applause and headline. They're learning that drama wins, that making a scene is more valuable than making the right play. When you look at the legends of the WNBA, players like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, or Tamika Catchings, they built their legacies on quiet dominance and unparalleled professionalism. They let their game do the talking, earning respect through their relentless work ethic and commitment to their teams. Angel Reese is pioneering a completely different path to stardom, one fueled by social media, personal branding, and controversy. It's a modern approach that certainly gets attention, but it's a risky game that could leave her with a legacy built on clicks and trending topics instead of championship rings. So what does the future hold? There are two clear paths forward for Angel Reese. One is the path of redemption, where she matures, tones down the theatrics, and channels her fierce competitiveness into becoming an undeniable leader who wins championships and earns the respect of even her harshest critics. The other path is one of ruin, where she leans further into the villain persona, alienates teammates and fans, and ultimately becomes a player whose off-court drama completely eclipses her on-court talent. Her career could become a cautionary tale of what happens when potential is squandered for fame. This leads to the real endgame here. Angel Reese has the talent to be a Hall of Famer who could carry the WNBA into a new era, but right now her career is being defined by feuds, gestures, and headlines. She is at a critical crossroads where she must decide what she truly wants her legacy to be. Will she be remembered as a trailblazing champion who changed the game on her own terms, a fierce competitor who backed up every bit of her swagger, or will she become a cautionary tale of a phenomenal talent who let the drama consume her destiny, forever known as the Queen of Chaos instead of the Queen of the Court?